Thank you very much. It is a real pleasure to be here with this car. A little bit of a background. Bentley have, for 100 years, forged engineering, styling, design advances, and we plan to continue to do that for our next 100 years. EXP 100 GT, our concept car, launched earlier this year on our birthday, was a fine example of that. But here today, we see practically another concept car, which was in fact our 1939 concept car, the Bentley Corniche. It was really born out of a desire by our styling department of 1939 to investigate streamlining, and really is one of the very first examples of streamlining. A little bit of an internal battle back in 39 between sales and marketing, who preferred, they felt, a more upright, a more grander designer car, but styling won effectively and put into action a project called the Bentley Corniche. We employed the great designer Paulin to design the body with internal help, and Van Voren was our bodybuilder. And in 39, the car went through a number of iterations and tests, went backwards and forwards from France, and was involved in a minor accident, needed some repair to the body, so the body was ready to come back to the UK in 1939, was ready in Dieppe. But unfortunately, the Luftwaffe had different ideas, and during a bombing raid, the body was destroyed. And at that point, the war intervened, and the project was put into hibernation, and post-war was forgotten. Until maybe a decade or so ago, when a group of enthusiasts from the Rolls-Royce Heritage Trust and the Bentley Drivers Club decided to recreate, rebuild what was a Corniche. So with a set of drawings, and with our blessing and with our support financially, set off on that. It was a long project, and last year we decided to get more involved, and with Mulliner, our bespoke division, the project, still in a very early stage in terms of construction, was brought in-house, and a cross-functional team from Mulliner set about with some expert support from Ken Lee, who is the Vice Chairman of the BDC, to build what you see in front of you. It is, as I said, one of the very early examples of streamlining. Back in 39, it reached unheard of speeds of around 110 miles an hour. And we are very proud to have this car in our collection. It joins the Bentley Heritage Collection, and going forward we will use this car around the world as we do all of our cars, and delighted that it's here today and over the weekend for Salon Privé.
Thank you, Rob. This car is affectionately known as the missing link, isn't it?
It is. So this is the missing link between the Embericos Bentley and the R-Type Continental of the 1950s, and as such it's a very important car, which we decided was vital to fill that story, that missing link story between Embericos and the R-Type Continental.
Interestingly, we celebrate Bentley's centenary on Saturday, when 52 Bentleys will take the lawn here in place of the Chubb cars you see today. And we have R-Type number 1, that is one of the 52 cars. So the very first car to follow on from this Corniche will be on the lawn as well. So.
Absolutely, and I think just to retouch on the point I made about the team that brought this car to life, it was a very cross-functional team across the company, led by Mulliner, and I think it's a perfect example of those bespoke coach building skills that possibly only really sit with Bentley around the world. They're still alive today, and here's embodied in this car you see in front of you.
Robin, thank you very much indeed. It's a great pleasure to have you in the car here.
My pleasure, Dick. Thank you.
Thank you.